height when kids are little. Good morning. Buenos días. Bienvenidos a la Congregación Unitariana Universalista de Asheville. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Asheville. Soy la reverenda Claudia Jiménez y sirvo en esta congregación como ministra de la fe. I'm Reverend Claudia Jiménez and I serve this congregation joyfully as minister of faith development. Nos alegra su presencia en este servicio para todas las edades que celebra el desarrollo espiritual en nuestros programas este año. We are glad you have joined us for today's service, a service for all ages, so that we might celebrate together the work of religious exploration that happens in this loving faith community. Feligres o visitante, congregant or visitor, queremos que sepan, we want you to know, que quien quiera que sea, whoever you are, de donde quiera que venga, wherever you come from, a quien quiera que ame, whoever you love, estés donde estés en el viaje de explorar quién eres, wherever you are on your journey, independiente de cómo te identifiques, however you identified, usted está bienvenido aquí. You are truly welcome here. If you are visiting online, we invite you to introduce yourself and tell us from where you are watching. We are glad you are here too. And we are grateful this morning for the presence of our choir, the Sandbergers, our music director, Les Downs, religious educator, Jen Johnson, and our tech staff, Jason Smith. And we say hello at home to Kim Collins, our religious educator who helped plan the service but could not be here today because she's recovering from COVID. We hope you enjoy the service, Kim. And our last few words before we begin, let us take a deep breath together. And let us be present, and we begin with our centering music.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go.
I'm Soleil. Do any kids want to come help me with the hand motions while I say our opening chalice lighting words? Okay. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are a church of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands.
Thank you. Thank you, Soleil. This morning, we gather to worship as a community of all ages, to honor our graduates, to thank religious exploration volunteers. We will sing, reflect, and maybe even clap and move our bodies. Let us take a moment to look around this space. Look at those beloveds sharing this space with us today. Let us recognize the beauty of our whole community, from our elders to our youngest and all ages in between. Here we are in this sanctuary, worshiping together. And this is important because our children learn about religion, patience, acceptance, and love by being with us. They learn that worship is for all of us. Whether we are here this morning full of energy, fussy, moody, or shy. Let us begin worship this morning open to joy and possibility as we sing together in English and in Spanish, enter, rejoice, and come in. Ven, ven, alégrate hoy. Please rise in body or spirit.
I'm Jen Oversmith, and I'm one of the Religious Explorer educators this year for 1st through 3rd grade. And we have a special wisdom story to tell you today. The kids and Jenny Coben and I are going to tell this story for you. And it's a yoga story. We've been talking this year a lot about loving each other, loving others, loving ourselves, and loving the earth. So yoga has been part of this practice. So we're going to tell you a little story about parachuting cats to the rescue. So if you are someone who wants to help us do this story, all the kids or young at heart, come on up to this space where we have some room. Come on up. So this is parachuting cats to the rescue. So this is a true story that took place a long time ago in Borneo. And in Borneo, a long time ago, the mosquitoes were terrible. There were so many mosquitoes, and they would bite the people, and the people would scratch and itch, and it was terrible. But the worst thing is that the mosquitoes carried diseases like malaria that could make people sick. So the people wanted to get rid of the mosquitoes. And some scientists had the idea of spraying DDT in Borneo. Yeah, so that was a big problem. So the DDT killed all of the mosquitoes. Yes. So the people stopped catching malaria. The mosquitoes were dead, but the DDT killed other things too. So there were these wasps whose larvae ate caterpillars, and the wasp died. Yep, all the wasps died, and so there was nothing to eat those caterpillars. So the caterpillars started multiplying. There were more and more caterpillars, and they were hungry, and they ate, and there were so many caterpillars. And the problem is, the people in Borneo, their roofs were thatched. The roofs were made of grasses. And guess what the caterpillars ate? That's right, they ate grass. So the roofs had holes in them, the caterpillars were eating through the roofs, and they were falling apart. And so the people fixed the roofs, but there was an even bigger problem. The wasps were not the only ones who ate that DDT. Lots of other insects ate the DDT, like cockroaches. So the cockroaches died, the insects died, they got sick, and these insects were the food for Borneo's small lizards called geckos. This is a tricky one. So these geckos, they would eat the sick cockroaches and insects that had been eating the DDT, and then the geckos got more DDT in their bodies. And guess what happened? They died. They started to die. Poor geckos. And so the geckos of Borneo were eaten by cats. So these cats would eat the sick geckos. And guess what happened to the cats? They got sick, they died. And it was really sad, really sad. But the worst part is that the cats would eat rats. And so now there were lots of rats. And the rats multiplied. And years went by, and there were more and more rats, and the people of Borneo were worried that the rats would bring diseases to them. So they had this idea. They borrowed cats from other villages. They brought the cats in. There still weren't enough cats. There were more and more rats. They needed more cats. So their idea was, in 1959, the members of the British Royal Air Force flew over Borneo in a helicopter. And they sent 20 cats in parachutes to the ground in Borneo. 20 cats in parachutes, all because nature got out of balance.
Well, thank you so much for that story and that reminder of how we are all interconnected, how what affects one affects us all. And because what affects one affects us all, we take time when we gather on Sunday mornings to share in community those joys and sorrows that we bring together, that we bring when we come together. And before we share our joys and sorrows today, I'm going to invite you into an embodied meditation. So you may do this sitting down, or you may do this standing up, whatever is most comfortable for you. I will go through it twice, and then we will go through it 3 times together in silence. So we begin with our hands in front of us to find our inner quiet. We raise our arms up high to open ourselves to our highest dreams. We bring our hands to our hearts to affirm the strength of our inner voice. And we extend our hands out in front of us to offer ourselves in service to others. So, our hands in front for inner quiet, arms up high for our highest dreams, hands to our hearts to offer service to others, and listen to our inner voice and extend our hands out in front of us to offer service to others. So let's go through this 3 times in silence. Thank you. And now let us share a moment of silence to form our own prayers out of the concerns in our hearts this morning. So now is the time in our service when we engage in a ritual of lighting candles for any joys or sorrows that we bring with us this morning. If you are home, we invite you to type your joy or sorrow into the YouTube chat. Let us begin our ritual.
If you have lit a candle for a joy that is in your heart today, know that we rejoice with you. If you lit a candle for a sorrow, know that this community holds you in love and in care. And now we will light 2 final candles for those not with us and for those joys and sorrows not expressed. One is for joys and another for sorrows.
I am, you are me. That's what I said. I am, you are me. Don't you see? I am, you are me. That's what I said. I am, you are me. Don't you see? I am, you are me. That's what I said. I am, you are me. Don't you see? I am, you are me. That's what I said. I am, you are me. Don't you see? I am, you are me. That's what I said. I am, you are me. Don't you see? I am, you are me. That's what I said. I am, you are me. Don't you see? I am, you are me. That's what I said. I am, you are me. Don't you see? I am, you are me. That's what I said. Don't you see? I
Thank you, Les and the choir. What a beautiful song. Love that message. I'm Jen Johnson, and alongside Kim Collins, my colleague, I'm one of the religious educators that serves this congregation. But as someone who studied accounting and public health and education, how did I get here? I wonder. We like to do that in religious exploration. My religious journey began in a liberal Midwestern Methodist church. Starting from before I can remember, my faith foundation took root there, and without much consideration, it shaped me greatly. What do I remember about those growing up years? I remember becoming a church acolyte in 4th grade when we all learned how to safely carry the flame into the sanctuary, processing alongside our minister each Sunday. I remember the hanging of the greens each December when the whole church gathered on a Friday evening to decorate the church halls and sanctuary with our big Christmas tree and all the crafts the children had been making for the past month. I remember summer trips when our youth leaders took us out of our familiar places to expose us to the wider world, fostering a greater understanding both of ourselves and of the larger world and the people in it. And on one of those trips, I remember sleeping atop tables in a church basement so that we could avoid the cockroaches that coexisted there. And a fonder memory of a trip was meeting another youth from a congregation, and he used the word nifty quite frequently. I also remember memorizing the books of the Bible and hearing stories from that sacred text. To be honest, though, many of the other specific lessons from those Sundays aren't in my working brain. What is there in my bones, in my heart, in my core, is even more valuable and is there because of the people in that church community. My peers, yes, they were important, and we still have a fond respect for one another and carry those shared experiences in our hearts. And maybe even more important were the church adults who acted as our guides, our Sunday school teachers, youth group advisors, and those who simply took interest in me and talked with me in the fellowship hall after the service while they drank their coffee and I ate donut holes. They made me feel seen and heard, even when, as a self-conscious teen, I didn't necessarily ask for that. There was retired journalist Bob Elliott, who discussed the nuances of good and evil with us. And Carol and Laura, our youth advisors, who treated us like people and recognized our needs and took us on those trips. Our minister, Dale, who grappled with the concept of why bad things happen to good people. David's parents, who took interest in what I was doing in church and outside of it too. And church member Dick Lake, who asked my dad one Sunday, "Is Jenny doing okay?" And you know, I kind of wasn't. And I never told anyone at the time, but it really mattered that he noticed. These adults, in formal church roles or simply being in the same faith community together, showed me that I had inherent worth and dignity long before UU principles were a part of my life. And so with the 30-something years between then and now, and plenty of it not directly related to organized religion, it's kind of funny to me that I'm in this place now. I returned to church, and it makes sense, because I believe in the value of a church community. I believe that we can and do offer grounding roots to our children and youth. I believe that raising my kiddos here, and some of yours, that UU goodness will seep into their bones. I believe that relationships that start and happen here matter deeply, sometimes more than we know. Like I remember Bob, Carol, Laura, Dick, and my minister and other elders growing up in the church, I hope that my kids and yours feel loved and in return care for Dan, Allison, Gordon, Kay, John, and many, many others in this UU congregation. I believe in us. What we create matters. And that is why we want to take a moment to recognize the volunteers serving in our religious exploration program this year. Like in the chalice lighting that Soleil shared with us this morning, these adults offer their open minds, their loving hearts, and their helping hands to our young UUs and their families. They make the magic happen with our children and youth each Sunday. We are fortunate at UU Asheville to have a vibrant RE program, especially given what churches have gone through in the past few years. Our program thrives because of our volunteers' commitment, ingenuity, and compassion, and it takes them and all of us to make faith development happen, and for our families and young people to feel welcomed, nurtured, loved, and inspired. So as a small show of our huge gratitude, we'd like to offer them some flowers. And children and youth, I'm going to ask for your help in that. If you would come forward and grab a flower and take it to one of the RE leaders. So RE leaders and assistants and those who helped behind the scenes, if you would please stand or raise your hands so that we can see you and honor you and bring you a little bit of love, that would be great. Someone's, oh, she got it. She got it. Oh, thank you.
Can I have some kids come forward? Will's going to help show you the motions to our song.
And if the kids do the motions, maybe the grown-ups will do the motions too.
Right.
So may I be happy. So we'll have some words on the screen. You can sing along with us. May I be happy, may I be well, may I be safe and sound. May I be peaceful, may I be at ease, with love in my heart and all around. May you be happy, may you be well, may you be safe and sound. May you be peaceful, may you be at ease, with love in your heart. can sing my love, and you can dance your love, and you can play your love today, my love. You can laugh your love, and you can cry your love, and you can walk your love, and you can fly your love all around. May I be happy, may I be well, may I be safe and sound. May I be peaceful, may I be at ease, with love in my heart all around.
Sing it to someone else.
May you be happy, may you be well, may you be safe and sound. May you be peaceful and may you be at ease, with love in your heart and all around. Well, you can sit with your love, and you can breathe with your love, and you can listen to your love, it's in your heart, my love. You can share your love, and you can shine your love, and you can be your love, and you can spread your love all around. May we be happy, may we be well, may we be safe and sound. May we be peaceful, may we be at ease, with love in our heart and all around. May we be happy, may we be well, may we be safe and sound. May we be peaceful, may we be at ease, with love in our heart and all around.
Thank you, Sandburgers. Thank you, children, for leading us in movements around the song. And thanks to all of you for your participation today. Thank you, Jen, for sharing your spiritual journey. And thank you to all of those volunteers who share of themselves, of their time, of their love for Unitarian Universalism with our children. And thanks to those of you who don't even know yet that you are going to be volunteers for religious education. So this weekend, there were rallies downtown. On Friday, people gathered in our community to let trans youth know that they belong and they are loved despite our General Assembly. And on Saturday, people gathered to publicly say to that same General Assembly in our community that to deny abortion health care to women and those who identify as women is unconscionable and violates basic human rights. And last night, many UUs showed up for our siblings living in homelessness to support the beloved village that is being built in our community by the organization Beloved. Ours is a community that welcomes and nurtures our trans youth. It's a community that supports reproductive justice. It's a community that is working to show up beyond these four walls, to be seen in the community living out our values. And friends, that is what we do in religious exploration with our children. We model for them the example of what it means to live into our values. We meet with them to share about our Unitarian Universalist history, our Unitarian Universalist values, and with our actions, we show them that this is not just an intellectual exercise, but an embodied exercise. So I am deeply proud to serve a congregation that provides spiritual deepening and fortifies our community from a young age to go forth and work for justice. We affirm the importance of spiritual deepening by offering programs that include a comprehensive, medically informed, values-based, justice-rooted sexuality education program our whole lives for kindergarten through high school. And in these times, this program is life-saving and life-affirming. Yes. It is part of our ministry. It is how we plant those seeds of love and inclusivity for our children and youth. And children and youth here with us today and not here, you are loved and you are welcome here as you are, wherever you are on that journey of discovering your gifts. We are blessed with your presence. We learn so much from you. You are not just our future, you are our presence. And that is why when you are young, when you are infants or toddlers or even a little bit older, we have child dedication ceremonies to tell you that we are here for you and your parents as you go through your journey to adulthood. And then when you approach your graduation from high school, we also honor you and send you on your way with love, so that those values that we have shared with you, those moments that you have shared in this community, carry you and sustain you in this new adventure that you will be embarking in. So having said that, let us celebrate our graduates. Jen.
Bridging is a UU ritual marking the significant time in life when these emerging adults open new doors for new experiences and a greater understanding of themselves and their faith. We have known the three Bridgers that are, two of them are with us today, since they were young children. That doesn't always happen. Two of them could join us today. Athena Murray is graduating from Carolina Day School, where she plays tennis and soccer, and as a junior spent a year in Spain with a host family. Athena currently works as a CNA in nursing homes, and next year will be will be going to New York University and spending her first year at NYU Madrid. Athena has been at UU Asheville since she was 1 and completed coming of age with her fellow Bridgers in the first year of the pandemic. A really great church memory Athena recalls is the super fun parents' night out when she was a kid. And she also loved mountain cons and says she really, really enjoyed the coming of age fall retreat day at the YMCA when they did a bunch of team building activities. May Currens, another Bridger today, is in high school, has been involved in the National Arts Honor Society and the swim team. She's graduating from Asheville High School and next year will be attending Appalachian State University. May has greatly enjoyed being connected at the Mountain, where she has loved youth programs and will be a camp counselor this summer. And Katie Banks, who can't be with us today because she's celebrating her grandmother's 90th birthday, is graduating from Nesbitt Discovery Academy and the North Carolina School of Science and Math's online program. Katie has led her school's Science Olympiad team for 3 years, is a National Merit finalist, and plays the double bass. This fall, she'll be attending UNC Chapel Hill, where she'll be a part of the Honors College, major in geology, and hopes to join UNC's orchestra. Katie has already found a UU student group at UNC, as well as the Chapel Hill UU congregation, which is within walking distance of the campus. She has several school friends here who are also going to UNC and who want Katie to introduce them to Unitarian Universalism. Katie's favorite church memory is going to the mountain with the congregation every fall. She said, "My sister Zoe and I always ran to see the view from Meditation Rock first thing, and it's always breathtaking." Bridgers, I'm going to address you now, and you can look wherever you want. As a symbol of the bridging process, we offer you each a gift. First, a rose. When children are dedicated in this congregation, they receive a rose as a symbol of the unfolding life before them. But before giving it to the young children, we make a point of removing thorns from the roses. That rose symbolizes the shelter of this community, our promise to receive our young ones here with loving arms and to guide and accompany them with compassion and respect. Now we once again offer you roses, as before, in honor of your strength, grace, and the possibility that you have shown in your lives thus far. But this time we leave the thorns on. They remind you that life as an adult can be prickly at times, and we have confidence that you will be able to navigate those thorns of life. And we also remind you that we all need support at different times. This place and these people in our UU congregation offer an anchor for you. And your presence and gifts offer this congregation a buoy. We are mutually blessed and hope you continue your connection with us. Whether your journey takes you far away or you stay nearby, you always have a religious home here at UU Asheville. And now we invite you to cross the imaginary bridge and return to your seats. We send you off with love, and we hope that you will seek out a UU home wherever your path leads. Congregation, let's welcome them into their new role.
What an amazing community this is. You all are wonderful. Our parents are supported. Our youth know that they are loved, and it's just wonderful. So, the service continues. We have celebrated today. We have acknowledged the importance of why we gather, and we continue now with the work of the congregation. One of the first things we do during this time is invite those of you who are visiting us. If you would like to share your name, you may raise your hand, and a microphone will come to you. Just tell us your name and where you're visiting from, and you can pass. If you do not want to, that's okay. We'll see you in Sandberg Hall for coffee.
Hello, my name is Ella. I'm born and raised in Asheville, but this is my first time at a local congregation, and I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Melissa King, and this is my first time here. I was invited by my friend Allison, and I'm here with my daughters Eden and Irene. And I'm
Welcome.
Hello, I'm Judith Polinko. I'm here from faraway Weaverville to honor my beautiful, loving granddaughter, Athena.
Hi, I'm Carol Asiagi. I live in West Asheville and moved here about 7 years ago. But Friday night, I came to see the Rinpoche, which was very moving, and I have been looking for a spiritual home. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Welcome. All right, well, we are glad that you are here, and we hope to welcome you further during coffee hour. Our announcements run as slides at the beginning of the service. If you missed them, just refer to Thursday's weekly e-news, as everything is described there. This is a busy congregation. Today at 12:30, there are a few gatherings here in the sanctuary. There will be an 8th principle panel before our congregational vote on June 4th. If you're curious about the 8th principle, please be sure to join us here. And downstairs in RE Commons, there's an introduction to the mountain that so many of our youth love to attend. So if you would like to go to this year's mountain gathering and have not been before, please join our team in RE Commons who will tell you about it. Our community plate recipient this month is Pro-Choice North Carolina. You can put cash in the basket or put the words community plate in the memo line of your check. You can also donate online. And this being the first Sunday, we have a short video from Lynn Walter, who is the advocacy organizer for Pro-Choice North Carolina.
Hello, UU of Asheville. My name is Lynn Walter. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and Aya, and I'm the Advocacy and Organizing Manager at Pro-Choice North Carolina. I want to thank you all so very much for having us be the recipient of your Share the Plate initiative for this month. It is a really big honor, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and my coworkers also want to express their appreciation. So a little bit about what we're fighting for this year. We clearly are fighting for reproductive freedom and abortion access for all North Carolinians, because abortion is health care, abortion is a right, and everyone has the right to determine and make decisions about their own bodies, their own health, and their own lives. And that idea of bodily autonomy and that people have that right is something that we hold very, very near and dear to our hearts and hold very deeply. So we are clearly fighting for that. We are also going to be playing a lot of defense and fighting against terrible anti-abortion bills. As of the time I'm recording this, which is in the end of March, there have not yet been any anti-abortion bills introduced, but we know they're coming because anti-abortionists in the North Carolina General Assembly have said so. And when people tell us who they are, we need to believe them the first time. In some good news, though, yesterday on March 22nd, there were some really wonderful proactive and pro-abortion bills introduced. The Remove Barriers to Gain Access to Abortion Act, also known as the RBG Act, which will get rid of a lot of the medically unnecessary and harmful restrictions that the North Carolina General Assembly has put into place that prevent people from accessing essential and necessary health care, which is what abortion is. So that is a positive. So you can look up your legislators, and if they signed on as a sponsor or a co-sponsor, please thank them for it. And because we know that everything is interconnected and one form of oppression strengthens other forms of oppressions, we are also fighting against all of the terrible attacks on our LGBTQ plus siblings, especially trans kids, and we're working in Righteous Community with organizational partners and people across North Carolina to try and stop those terrible pieces of legislation, but also stop those awful attacks from happening, because we know that we really are in this all together. So again, just wanted to say thank you so much, give you a little bit of information about what it is that we're doing, And we really appreciate you all and appreciate you all being in community with us and for standing up for abortion access and supporting people's rights to their own reproductive lives and their own reproductive health. And we would love to come at some point, if it works with the UU of Asheville's schedule, to come and talk with you all. So let me know. Again, Lynn Walter, thank you so very much. And yeah, please reach out if you all have any questions. Thank you.
So that is our community plate recipient this month, and we are grateful for your generosity around their work. Our offertory will now be gratefully collected.
I've seen you in a sadness. I've seen you when you hope to die. I've heard you say that it's raining all over the world. But what did I tell you? What did I say? Just when your faith has gone, give it one more day. I've seen you in your head low, face down on the ground. I heard you say that you lost and you couldn't be found. But what did I tell you? What did I say? Just when your faith has gone, give it one more day. Next thing you're shining right back at the sun, rolling right back at the wind, blowing right back at the ocean. Nothing's gonna do you in. So give it one more day. Give it one more day. Give it one more day. Just when your faith has gone, give it one more day.
For the gifts of your time, your presence, your treasure, and your talent, we are truly grateful this morning. And now we have a few words from Will Jernigan from the annual Giving Drive team.
Did I just hear a woohoo for the annual Giving Drive? In the spirit of joyful giving, let me share a quick update with you. Also, in the wake of our joyful event last Sunday of having formally and resoundingly called Reverend Audette as our lead minister. Yeah. So that's the context in which I bring you this update today from the annual Giving Drive. It includes where we are now, what happens next, and it also includes a call to action. We have had many folks give very generously, and we are truly grateful for the annual pledge that many of you have already made for the coming year. However, as of right now, we are projected to have a budget deficit. And that deficit for the coming year is somewhere around $150,000. Now, if that sounds like a big number, it is. But what I'm here to tell you today is that that number does not make me fearful. It does not make me anxious. And actually, I have hope, and I want to tell you why I have hope for our future. Because if you were here last Sunday, you heard Reverend Audette talk about the concept of hope. It means that we believe our actions are worth doing. It's different from optimism, which is just positive thinking. But it means that our actions are worth doing. We believe that, come what may, regardless of whatever the future circumstances are, it's still worth doing those actions. That really resonates with me, because our message in this giving drive has been one for the future. It's been anchored in a long-term strategy to reach financial sustainability based on 4 different things, and we call them pillars, but the gist of it is this: to re-engage our members and attract new members to grow, to renew the joy of financially supporting our church, making it transformational for ourselves, to start to think big picture about how our campus and our assets best serve our mission, and also maybe seeking new income sources. And then finally, to grow our legacy circle, which helps us secure longer-term sources of funding. So those are the four pillars of our long-term strategy to get to financial sustainability. All of this is aimed at that financial sustainability. It's one that's I would call an upward spiral of re-engagement. And to me, what that means is the more you lean in, the more it works. At the same time, we got to recognize that it's going to take time. It's not going to happen instantaneously. So I'm not afraid of that budget deficit because I have faith and I have hope in this strategy, this 4-pillar strategy that we've got in place. We also have an emergency fund, which allows us some ability to shore up this deficit for the coming year's operating budget. That said, depleting a large portion of your emergency fund to sustain the next year's operating budget isn't necessarily the best plan. It kind of reduces our options and abilities in the future. So we're not going to call that Plan A. So our next step and the plan for what we do here is this. We are extending the annual giving drive from today, or from now until May 18th, with the goal of not eliminating the deficit, but simply to minimize it. And in minimizing the deficit to the greatest extent possible, what we do is we lessen the hit on our emergency fund, we give ourselves more options in the future, and we give ourselves more time for our 4-pillar strategy to blossom. And to be frank, we set the stage in a much better way for our new chapter with Reverend Audette and Reverend Claudia. So here's what we're asking you to consider. The call to action is this. We ask that each of us reflect deeply, if you have not done so already, about making a personally transformational gift and to stretch to increase your pledge amount for the coming year, the 23-24 year, as much as is possible for you. And we're asking you to make that update to your pledge by next Thursday, the 18th, because that is ahead of our Town Hall budget meeting. I know that sounds exciting. Town Hall budget meeting on the 21st, which is a Sunday. That allows us to truly know where we're going to be and to plan forward. And I would also encourage you to show up on the 21st. Exercise your 5th principle muscle. Anybody remember what the 5th principle is? The democratic process, that's right. Yeah, exercise that muscle and join us on the 21st. To make an update to your pledge that you've already made, to make an update to that pledge, all you have to do is simply email Tish Murphy. Her contact's on the website, and you'll also be receiving a physical letter in the mail if you haven't already. And let me make this final note that if you are someone who is unable to increase your financial pledge, please know that we are grateful for you. We recognize that each of us will give the best we can in the ways that we can, and that we are one community together. And this is a fact. So I'll close. Thank you. I'll close by saying this. We have what it takes. And what it takes is some faith, some hope, some action, and some time. So here's to our future. Let's begin the upward spiral together. With gratitude and hope, thanks for your time and listening to this message, and thanks for your support of our UU community.
Thank you, Will, and thank you for the team that have been supporting the annual giving drive, because the work we do here, this sanctuary, our support to our children and youth, the spiritual deepening that happens here, that the justice work that goes out from here, and the challenge for each of us to be transformed and to live into the values and be the liberatory faith we can be, cannot happen if we cannot afford to keep our building and our staff. So yes, we've talked about children, we've talked about reproductive justice, and we've talked about money, because we have to talk about everything. So friends, if you feel blessed by your connections with this community, if you want to be a blessing to our children and our youth and our community, consider ways that you can support the work that happens here. And as Will said, it's not just the money, it's your time, it's your presence, and it's the love that you share not only here, but in the community. So as we close our time together, leave blessed by our connections to one another and to the Spirit of life. Walk lightly that you see the life that is below your feet. Spread your arms as if you had wings and could dance through the air, because there is also joy alongside the challenge. Feel the joy of the breath in your lungs and the fire in your heart. Live to love and be a blessing. Be a blessing. And children and youth, thank you for your presence with us today. It's been a long morning, but I hope that you have seen the commitments of these adults to your journey and to making this world a better place for you as you grow older. So thank you, friends, for being here. Thank you for your generosity, and go in peace. Vayan en paz y con mucho amor. Now, I will extinguish our chalice, if it allows itself to be extinguished. And let us bless each other with our closing song, Long Time Son.
Just a quick note about our postlude today. We're going to show a video that we hope you'll stay for. We just want to note that we're sending out love to all of our members, congregants, visitors here with us today, online as well. I think we're going to drop the link in the chat so you can watch it on your own time. Don't give up. There's a brighter day. Thank you for being here.
Don't give up when your heart is weary. Don't give up when your eyes are teary. Don't give up when your voice is trembling. When your life needs mending. Don't give up when the hurt is near you. Don't give up when the world seems to be broken. I'm still hoping with my heart open. For a brighter day. Don't give up when your pride is bruised, and don't give up when you feel you're losing. Don't give up in your darkest hour, 'cause you got keep on fighting. Even when your eyes are crying. Don't give up, you just keep on fighting. Don't give up, you just keep on fighting. Even when your eyes are crying. Yeah, for a brighter day. Fighting for a brighter day.